What's going on, everyone? It's your Rifle here, and thanks for checking out this video. In this one I'm going to be showing off this serious nipple twister called Aegis of the REEF. And I have to say, this thing is absolutely amazing. And it looks good too. But hey, can't judge a weapon on its looks, because then you're pretty shallow and stupid for doing that. I may be stupid, but at least I'm not shallow. But I'm not gonna lie, this weapon does look pretty sweet. But before I get into this review, I have to give big thanks to HeroBren92 for allowing me to use his account to review this almighty pulse rifle. Alright, so let's get into this. I guess I'm gonna start with the setbacks on this pulse rifle. It has a low magazine size, so keep that in mind, especially with the rate of fire it has on it. You're going to be reloading quite a lot with this, and I'm sure that's not going to be the only time I'm going to be saying this during this review, so bear with me, everybody. But to get into the stats, overall it's looking pretty good. As you guys can see, the rate of fire is high, the impact is poopy, the range is decent, and the stability is nice, and I can't forget about the reload. Yeah, that's not bad. Now look at that description though. Protect the borders, punish the unjust. How cinematic and peaceful. Man, I'll tell you what, these bios on these weapons are just absolutely ridiculous sometimes. The weapon just has such a crazy description. You're like, wow, I didn't think nothing of that when I was holding this weapon at all. I'm not gonna lie, I do find it pretty cool though when they add in some lore behind the weapon, but these descriptions I find just ridiculous. Why not add some sense of humor instead of it just being all serious? Good gosh. It's a video game, for Christ's sake. I guess I just played too much Borderlands, which, speaking of Borderlands, real quick, Borderlands 3 is actually supposedly coming out. Well, it's in development. It should be coming out sometime in 2017, I heard, rumored anyways. Don't know that for a fact. Anyways, what the heck? I'm getting completely off track here. Let's get back into this review. The perks that this guy had on his Aegis of the REEF, he has Focus Lens, Steady Hand, Perfect Balance, Injection Mold, Lightweight, Hidden Hand, and Life Support. Which... Oops, that cup almost fell off my desk. Which these perks aren't that bad. I especially like the lightweight, the perfect balance, and I like the hidden hand on a pulse rifle. It helps me get more consistent headshots. This takes 3 to the dome piece to get a kill, by the way, and this thing in my opinion shreds in the PvP. Now keep in mind on the rate of fire with this pulse rifle, you gotta be pretty consistent with your shots, just because if you're not, well, once again, you're going to be seeing yourself reloading, and they're going to have the upper hand on you while you're reloading. This weapon does 25 precision hit damage and 17 to the body. So, yeah, once again, 3 to the dome piece, and you got yourself a kill. Something that I've noticed about this weapon that probably some people didn't notice is it does have some recoil to it. It actually kind of reminded me of the Hawk Saw in a way, just in a way of how it kind of jerked around, but it's definitely not that noticeable. Like I said, not many people probably even notice the slight recoil on it, and especially if you have perfect balance, you're definitely not going to be noticing it. And you can roll counterbalance on this weapon, but I guess that's all depending on your play style. Speaking of perks though, the perks that you want for the first set of nodes is Perfect Balance or Hammer Forged. You can also get Small Bore or Send It as perks as well, but you're going to want Perfect Balance or Hammer Forged once again. Hammer Forged improves the range and accuracy, and Perfect Balance, I'm sure all of you probably know, it gives the weapon low recoil. If you do end up getting Small Bore, don't choose that one because that ends up lowering your magazine size, so you definitely don't want to lower your magazine size with this already low magazine sized pulse rifle. For the second node in this pulse rifle, you can get Snapshot, Full Auto, High Caliber Rounds, Lightweight, or Quick Draw. And actually any of these would be pretty useful. And out of all those perks, I mean, once again, they're not bad, but I'd actually go with High Caliber Rounds just because of how fast this weapon actually shoots. Now for the third node on this pulse rifle, you can get Counterbalance, Hidden Hand, Head Seeker, Rangefinder, Third Eye, Glass Half Full, Spray and Play, Feeding Frenzy, Outlaw, Unflinching, Secret Hand, and Life Support. And personally, I'd actually want Glass Half Full, but pretty much all of those perks I named off are absolutely amazing to have. Except for Counterbalance, I guess, just because I really don't see it being that beneficial with this pulse rifle. Like I said before, the recoil didn't really bother me too much. Now this weapon is absolutely amazing, hands down. If you end up getting your hands on this pulse rifle, definitely consider keeping it. Like I've seen quite a bit of people going through the Trials of Osiris with this weapon and being able to put up a fight with pretty much every single weapon in Destiny. Now if that's not saying this weapon's good, I don't know what will. Like I'm telling you guys, definitely consider checking this weapon out. And for the ones that have this weapon, I mean come on, you can at least back me up on this one. This pulse rifle is definitely not bad. If I compare this weapon to like the Hawk Saw, since that is a pretty good weapon, I can definitely see the range being the difference with this. So it can give you an upper hand if you're at a distance in a gunfight. The Hawk Saw doesn't have nearly as much range as this pulse rifle. Now since this pulse rifle does have to reload quite often because it has a low magazine size, this is actually best to be played with in 3v3s rather than 6v6s, just because it's way more chaotic in 6v6s obviously, so the enemies can get the upper hand on you because you can't do nothing while you're reloading unless you want to switch to your other weapon and try to do something really quick. And if you're considering this weapon to be a PvE weapon, it's not considerable just because it has low impact, and I mean, it doesn't have a high magazine size. I mean, I know I keep repeating that, but that's important to know when you're getting your hands on this. Just know you're going to be reloading quite a lot. And yeah, this is definitely more of a PvP style weapon rather than playing with this in the PvE. The perks that come on this weapon isn't really beneficial for PvE. On the other hand, for PvP, this is a go-to weapon, definitely. Overall, though, to be honest with you guys, if you had to choose between the Hacksaw or the Suros PDX-45, I'd go with one of those rather than this weapon. But on the actual range side of this weapon, it is way more beneficial. So it can be deadly at that point of view. Don't get me wrong, though. This weapon is definitely not bad at all. But I guess that's about wrapping up this review. Hopefully this was helpful to some of you guys, and you ended up enjoying this. If you want and you haven't, be sure to follow my Twitter. The link to that is in the description. And as always, I'm going to be a like whore at the end of my video and remind you guys to leave a simple like. The support is greatly appreciated, everybody. You can leave a dislike. I mean, hey, I'm not trying to force this down your guys' throats. The power is within your fingertips. I know I'm a dirty little slut. I'm being a like whore here. But this has been a video by Your Rifle. Remember to stay safe out there, everybody, from rapists. The world seems to be filled with those things for some odd reason, and also try to avoid sleeping in poop. That can get pretty nasty. Till next time, everybody, thanks for watching. Peace out.